topic, we will discuss the very basic fundamental of a function, including the function definition, function example, and function syntax also. Now here, why or what is the use of a function? So why function? Then break a longer, yes, break a longer job into the conceptual smaller job, which are precisely defined, is known as a function. Means we have a piece of code, or we can say that we are interested to solve the problem with the help of a programming language or program basically, right? Now what is program? Program is a set of instruction. So in certain case, suppose we would like to solve some problem, it may possible that we may divide our problem in a sub problem. Now this sub problem may be solved with the help of a function. Why we are thinking in the way, the reason behind that is here, if you see, a piece of a code which repeats at many places can be written only once and used again and again. So likewise, we have seen one example of a series, right? You might aware about, like a series is 1 plus 1 upon 2 factorial plus 1 upon 3 factorial plus 1 upon 4 factorial, like that, right? So here in a component of a series, we are calling factorial of a number every time. So no need to write this code again and again. What we are doing, we make one function for a factorial and we will use the same function for number of times. So that is the use of a function. Other than that, basically we are using number of function in our C program, like including printf, scanf, and etc. These all are a function also, because ultimately these are the library functions available, and basically we may use these functions for certain work. But here we are talking about our own or user defined functions, so that is made by us, right? So one more thing, that is the debugging and maintenance is easy. The reason is just imagine I would like to calculate the factorial function for a series. So at every component or every element of a series may be calculated with factorial function. So not a factorial function but factorial code. So at every component I need to check the code. If there is a problem with any of the code, it may end up with a wrong output. But suppose we have a function, and if there is a problem with the output, I know that I need to check only function definition only, right? So if I found the problem with the definition, and once we solve the definition of a function, it will be our problem will be resolved for whole series program. So this is how debugging and maintenance is easy if we are working with a function. Another, let's see one of the small piece of a code or a example of a function. So here this is the sine function, right? This is the sine function. Sine function is included in the standard library. It's already there, right? And is declared in the math.h. So suppose we would like to work with the sine function, we need to include math.h header file, right? Now here they have included limits.h header file, and they define the function by their own self. So this is the function defined by the programmer itself, and the definition of a function, that is a double sine double x. Now what is this basically? So we need to understand the function prototype also. What is the function prototype? Then the return type of function means what function may return. So that is the return type. Here the return type of function is double. Then name of a function, here the name of a function is sine. Then argument or list of argument of a function, here the argument of a function is x, and the type of argument is a double, so double x. It may possible that it may accept more than one argument, so double x, double y, integer z, like that. So each argument may be separated by comma, right? So here one argument, one return type. Of course, whenever we are working with a function, always we can return only one value from the function definition, right? So it's always only one thing: double, integer, float, character. Yes, we may return the object of a structure. That is possible, right? Fine. Double sine value, that is 0.0, double x squared, double term integer n equal to 1, x squared is equal to, so x squared is a variable over here. What we are doing, that is a x square, so x into x, right? Star is the sign for multiplication, so x into x, term is equal to x. We set the value term equal to x. Okay, now x, that is a value passed from here, right? This is the x for us. Okay, while term is greater than double plus epsilon, sign value plus equal to term, n plus equal to 2, and term into minus x squared divided by n minus 1 divided by n. Okay, so I can say that for working with this particular function, you need to understand how sine will work in a mathematics. Basically, what is the equation for a sine basically, right? Once you know this, then after it's easy to write this function, and at the end we return the value of a sine value, right? So the example here used Taylor series expansion. The successive term are added till the term becomes smaller than the machine epsilon. Fine. Now another example for the prime number. So this might be more easy than the sine, because if you don't remember the sine function equation, it's quite difficult to write a code for the same. Here, this is the prime number example. So what we are looking for, print a table as follow. What the table is? Table is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10, then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 up to 20, up to 100. All prime numbers are start. Okay, so this basically 1 is start, 2 is start, 3 is start, 4 is not a prime number, so no star, 5 is start, so star, up to 10. 10 is not a prime number. The main function prints the nice looking table, and it is not about finding a primes. The function is prime n is expected to return 1 for true if n is written a prime and 0 for false otherwise. Means we create one function named is prime, may accept the argument n, that is a one variable n, that is number itself. Here we are passing I in the code. Okay, so what we are doing, integer I, we define the iterative variable I. For I equal to 1, I is less than 100, because we want a series starting from 1 to 100. It's already there 100, right? So I is less than 100, I plus plus, printf %d and I. So it will print the value 1 for initially value 1. Then after we want a star only in the case if 1 is a prime number or not. So let's check, is prime number I. So suppose assume 1 is a prime number. Yes, 1 is a prime number. So this prime number function may return true. If it is true, it will print a star. If 1 is not a prime number, in that case 1 modulo by 10 equal to 0, printf \n. Why? Because again we want series like that, that is 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 41 to 31 to 40, 41 to 50, like that. So modulo by 10, that is 0, that shows that yes, 10 numbers completed, and print a \n or go to the new line. Otherwise means still we are on the same row, and we would like to print another number with spacing, so we are using \t. Suppose we go for this one, then we may use the space also, right? Fine. Then let's see the syntax of the function. So as we have discussed, the syntax, that is a return type, function name, argument list, and declaration or and statement. Smallest function is the empty function. and blank. Rules for the function name are same as that of the other variables, like rules for the identifier, rules for the keywords, right? Sorry, rules for the identifier and rules for the variable. So identifier refers to the name of a function too, so rules for the function will remain same. Now return type must be one of the valid data type or void. If it is not mentioned, then integer is assumed. By default, the return type of a function is integer. It is not mandatory to return a value. The calling program is free to ignore the return value. The form of the argument list is a type 1, argument 1, type 2, argument 2, dot dot dot, type n, argument n. Each argument may be separated by comma, right? I already told you each argument in this argument list are separated by comma. It is understood that the arguments have been declared. Fine. What do you mean by argument? The term arguments, actual argument, actual parameters is used for the variable that are passed to the functions by calling the program. The term parameters is used for variables received by the function as described in the function declaration. The arguments are passed by value. This means a separate copy of the variable is passed to the function. The values of the variable in the calling program are not affected by the changes to the parameters in the function's definition. The types of the argument passed and the parameters declared must match. If they don't match, automatic typecasting is applied. Right? So this is the important point. Automatic typecasting may apply, that is implicit typecasting. Okay. If this still do not match, there is an error. So let's see one small piece of code where this is the code and what is the output of that. So here we have created one function, right? One function named new I. This is the name of a function. What is the argument list? That is integer I. What is the return type of this function? So we haven't used anything as a return type of this function. That means the function may return integer. One more thing, we already said that even though the return type of function is integer, no need to return the value, right? So here the variable I equal to 5, printf I. Now integer I equal to 4, we print the value I, new I. It automatically print this. It automatically print this, that is 5, and then after again 4, right? So first answer, that is I equal to assigned with 4 at this stage, and print I will print 4. Second, we call the function new I and I. So this I, this value 4 will be passed over here. So now value of this I will be 4. Now we rewrite or overwrite the value 4 with the new value 5. So now value of I will be 5 and we print this 5. So second answer, that is the 5. Then after this function calling is completed, so we go back to the next line of the function, that is over here, and here printf %d and I. So what is the value of I over here? That is still 4. So it will print the 4. Because now don't get confused about this, because wherever you are declaring the variable, right, integer I, that is a declaration of a variable I. This is the automatic variable and scope of the variable is within this function only, right? So this I is accessible inside this function and the data of I is also accessible inside it. So once we left this function, this I will not be accessible, right? Same way here integer I, so scope of this I is limited to new I only, right? That you need to understand. So ultimately I can simply say that I of main and I of new I both are a different variable. These are not the same variable. Fine. So that is the end of a function, just a basic introduction of the function, right? And